Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we will show you how to again reach top 20 Mythic in the world with a control deck this time, because we decayed from top 8 after the Boros thing to top 70 or something, so I guess you cannot sleep in Mythic. And this deck got us back to top 20 because we had some insane results with this one. So I think you will like it. The games today will be super intense and super high level, and I think you can learn a lot from them. And it will be fun as well. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Guys, subscribe for cool quality content, and I mean, have as much fun as I had playing this deck. Enjoy! Guys, so what do we think about this hand? I think it's acceptable. I would love to have a counter spell, but let's see. It will be worse against control deck. Let's see. Listen, I need to take it now. We might get mana screwed. And this control deck, man, I tell you. Alright, and they probably know what this stick is. Because if we play Jeskai, we play it for a very specific card. So this is probably the draw 2, right? With Proft. And they might place Shredder on the next turn. That's my guess. And that's why we need to be, prepared with the Helix. Are you a Shredder? You ain't Shredder. Okay. Listen, I like those counter spells, but I still need those lands. So one counter spell and the land, please. Oh boy, this is really good for them. If you exile this man, you are getting so much value. It might also be the Mindbreaker control, in which case countering it would be really good, and I probably should have done it. It doesn't feel like a Shredder deck, so I think it's just Mindbreaker version. Alright, we need to draw a land. We are good at Magic with it. That's huge. That is huge. Now we have double counter spell. So it's very hard to pressure us perfectly. They want to play Emperor right now, so that means we play ours. If they counter, they cannot play Emperor. If they play their Emperor, okay, that's fine, that's a hard counter spell, it's fine. That also means they cannot go for the Mending. This will be a hard one. Alright, they didn't use No More Lies on the last turn. In this kind of matchup, you don't, you care about exile, but it's not your main play. It's not like, oh my god, I cannot waste a negate because, the No More Lies is so much better. You generally use No More Lies first, if you can. So I expect they don't have No More Lies. I will risk, and I think he might have Dissipate, which is fine. We cannot play around it. Alright, that's kinda the easy choice. Oh boy. Those counter spells really like us, and you know what? It's fine. I really don't want to counter this one. Thank you. Man, I'm so happy he played into it. I really needed to, kinda get rid of those counter spells but we still need to get solid value from them. This is the card that will matter. Main phase. He tapped main phase. That means we probably can play Jace. This is our win con on the other side, so we need to be a little bit careful. So Dissipate mana is on. We don't have Cavern. Listen. What can I say? Man, we could just go with Orcs, but Dragon is so much cooler, isn't it? Alright. I think this is Memory Deluge turn. It will be very hard for them to pressure us enough, so we cannot get this value. And I think they're kinda slowly out of stuff. And they didn't have No More Lies, so we are just going with this. Oh man, those are really good cards. But I need to keep playing lands. Man, Emperor is so amazing. But it's both land and the other thing is more important. And we don't want to tap out. So we have lands, we have counter spells, we don't need to rush it. We also have more Memory Deluge. And so when they play like this into the counter spells, they're against the wall. Riku, I'm sorry. That's a power home counter spell. And we can pay all the mana in the world. They want to, you know, protect it. But we are better at Magic because we drew more Memory Deluge earlier and more counter spells than them. And they cannot go through with any of their big plays. 40 cards already. And we still have... Oh, we don't have a counter spell. That was tricky. Man, those lands feel great. We don't have Zurgo. But do we go with the Jace plan? We didn't give them any target for removal this game, so I think we go with the Emperor and try to, you know, we start pressuring them. Fine. Let's see whose Emperor will be a little bit better.
I hope you're ready to lose.
I mean, they were probably minus. Let's be honest here. And this is one of the cool things about Helix. It can target Planeswalkers. That means you have really nice answers to the Planeswalkers usually with Jeskai. Alright, he should be very close to being absolutely out of threats. Of course we ignore it. He didn't play anything scare last turn. So I don't think tapping out so hard will make a difference. Let's make a stop. This is not extremely super powerful card that they have to counter, but it's very inconvenient for them. They don't really want to see this. Let's see how much they tank, because that should... It felt like a counter spell, honestly. It really felt like a counter spell. We will double minus here. And that will probably draw some of the removal from their hand. Yeah, I would love to make sure that the Jace wins the game on the spot. So let's first use the ability. I could, of course, play Jace. I will just trade. Emperor. Okay, good. That makes things easier. And I mean, we can just play Memory Deluge at the end step. Right now, he's a little bit against the wall. It feels that he still has plays. But we need to, you know, suffocate him a little bit with our stuff. So at the end step of every turn, we give him full reign at instant speed. So let's see it. We have double Memory Deluge, so we are fine. That was the counter spell he was thinking about earlier. But that means that the Emperor keeps stacking.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
I don't want to use my good cards. I think we keep pressuring a little bit. Because every turn we can force a counter spell. He's playing quite a lot of them. Negate, but I didn't see Dissipate. Alright, let's do it again. Every turn he needs a counter spell from the top. Alright, he's drawing them. He's drawing them. So good for our opponent. However, we are still kinda ahead, and now we have the Anchorage, so we can pressure quite heavily here. I think this might slowly be the time to go Jace. We can protect it. So I might draw a card. I still have one more Jace in the deck. It could be the last card, so we need to be a little bit careful. If I go double Jace, it might be very hard for him to kill us, right? I think we won the game. We got the better draw this game, so we should force a win here. Fateful Mending might not be for Mindbreaker at all. It might be just to survive against the aggro and, you know, draw into... Yeah, he's playing heavy anti-aggro version. Like Sunset River is Mending, so I think he might not play Mindbreaker at all. Alright, sorry, I need to think on this one, because we should win and we need to make a good call here. Killing him with Anchorages will be very, very slow. If I play Jace and -5, he will get Memory Deluge. That's not great. That's really bad. Yeah, like giving him Memory Deluge in this kind of situation would be very, very bad play by me. It is what it is. Good for him. Good value. I don't love to see it, but you know, we need to go with it. However, we have Emperor pressure here. And our board gets better and better, so that will force a sorcery speed removal at some point.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Do we go with the Anchorage? We'll probably lose it. That means we have less mana for the next turns. I don't love it, but that means the Samurai will survive. Let's go with this one. I won't protect it. If it dies, it dies. Eight damage. 8 damage is no joke. He can block, of course, a lot. And I'm keeping Helix because if I kill the creature, it's 3 damage extra that he gets dealt. And I can just use this to deal directly. And then it's a surprise factor because he doesn't know I can do it. He knows that Samurai deals 3 damage a turn, you know? Not the biggest surprise ever. Now we have creatures, so we don't need to tap. That's it. This is turn to play something at the end step, but I don't think he has many options at this point. We keep this Dissipate because it's huge. So remember that thing I said? Let's use it. Because right now we will plus the Emperor. That means one of the Samurai is 4/4. That means that if we kill this, we potentially can get 4 extra damage instead of 3, and that's an extra point of damage. And he has only 3 cards, so he will probably use removal, but you know, he still loses cards. Also, if he goes for a sweeper, that means that we have a lot of loyalty on the Emperor.
I've got new moves to teach you.
34. I want to mill him when he's out of card. That's a really nice draw. Honestly, this is probably the best land to draw. And I don't need this counter really. Like, I prefer a card. This Dissipate is the main thing that holds us, you know, in control of this game. And he used so many counter spells so far, man. I mean, that's 10. Against Helix deck, it's way less comfortable than you think. I didn't attack with Anchorage. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. But I would be very, very tapped. So if I play Dissipate, no more lights can counter it. So I don't feel super comfortable doing it. I much rather take the mana. I see. Alright. That's something I probably did not expect. Let's see if he can get it back. He probably has at most 1 spell at instant speed. So I think second Get Lost will get it. I didn't expect this one, I'll be honest. It's been a while since I've seen this card. And the target is Emperor. See? Thanks to not using the Anchorage, now we still have a counter spell. And we got rid of... They usually play 1 in the whole deck. Sure. And I can use spare mana at the end step to draw a card. And I mean, the pressure is still here. He has 1 card, so when you see... Sorry, I need to think and, you know, tell you guys what's going on. So right now, if that's a Sunfall, we can counter it. That means that right now, we absolutely beat his strategy. This card is random, so he cannot play around it. It's just random, so it's not part of his main strategy, so it means we broke the main strategy. And I mean, we can kinda kill him on the next turn early. That also means when he's at 3, every Helix kills him. And that's not where you wanna be. Okay, let's see if he does something. We are tapped very heavy. Oh, that's a nice draw. This is even better draw. Man, lands are super important here. Alright, now we go with this. We might not even need the Jace for this game. I didn't expect to kill him, but it seems that we might be doing it. Emperor is probably the worst here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an Emperor. And this is the only creature that taps, so a little bit risky. I would love to counter it, man. I would love to counter it. I would love to counter it. So, we can go Memory Deluge. Then we have still 3 mana. If we have removal... How many normalized there were? 1. Only 1? Only 1! That's not mana. He plays a lot of negates, so... But I think he still plays 4 of normalize. This can be very problematic for us. We could also farewell it, but that's a pretty, you know, nuclear option right there. So I'm not sure if that's a correct play. We will check priority with this. 1 blue mana. That should be enough, right? No! What the hell I'm doing? Oh, but we need the... Okay, so we are actually color short of making this play. Alright, we cannot mess it up, man. We are in good spot, and we cannot let him get the value. I have only 3 blue mana, because Cavern has too much priority, and for... Man, that was bad. I didn't need to tap this blue mana. Alright, so what do we go for? If I Memory Deluge, like this cannot be left unchecked. I can go and mill him. He will draw 1 card, so it will be 2 cards. And then he needs to kill us with the Hullbreaker Horror. I cannot mill him fully on this turn, so it also isn't a great plan here. I think we'll just play it, man. I think we'll just play it. We also will see. So it is an instant or a full stop. Hard to say, but usually I think he has an instant. So this will be a big decision for him. He should allow it, in my opinion. I'm not sure if I played the land. I actually should have checked. I need to check it. Entered battlefield. Alright. Oh, that's not perfect. We might draw normalize, so it's something, but you know. Alright. Lockdown is not very good here. I think we just prefer the land for the next turn. Alright. Do your worst. This will be very hard. Man, we might actually lose this game because I'm this blue mana short because I tapped 2 blue mana to activate the bird and I didn't check. Like, that's some trap with the caverns, unfortunately. It has extremely high priority. And sometimes, like, you need to be careful of it, but it's easy to miss. I missed it. Alright. No counter, alright. I see, I see. Man, this is getting intense. I shouldn't lose it, but I can see us losing this if he has enough good cards in a row. Yep. And right now, he's at full mercy of... Oh, okay, okay. I think I know what we're doing a little bit. That means we don't draw a card, probably. Let's see what he plays. He needs to draw an instant. That's a given. And it might be hard. And before it resolves, we go for this. Because right now, getting an extra card that's not an instant. Oh man, he went double Hullbreak. Man, what a mad lad. And he you know, discarded it. That means farewell probably hits unless this is a counter spell. So we know that whatever he has is not an instant. That means this dies to farewell. And on the next turn we go Jace into Jace. And I think we won. Man, that was super cool game. And I liked his build. Like, I miss Hullbreaker a little bit. I was considering playing it, but man, when you draw this against Mono Red on the play, it doesn't feel great, does it? 2 cards. We can risk drawing extra one. Alright, man, a lot of lands, but that's fine. We drew a lot of good cards before. 30. The Death Timer. Let's see if that's an instant. No instants, he lost. Alright, guys. I think we really masterfully played this one out. Like, no joke, man. Here's the Memory Deluge, and now he will play it probably in response. Yeah, we still have double blue. That's super important. You need double blue for this play. Because he might draw a Memory Deluge into Normalize. I mean, we can just pay the mana, but it could be negate, right? It could be negate. So we don't care about whatever he takes, because he still needs to play it on 2 mana. That means this always hits. Unless something is uncounterable, you know? But it has to be uncounterable counterspell, and those are in historic and not standard. He drew it, but we can pay 3 mana. If he draws negate, he will have a fair shot, but we are prepared. Yep, we had the counterspell for this. Man, I think that was a nice display. And guys, we actually won. Okay, I won't spoil anything, alright? I won't spoil anything. Alright guys, we are on the draw, which isn't perfect. We have Get Lost, which is pretty okay, and the counterspell. We'll try to make it work. This will be a hard situation. Of course, our opponent is very high, so he's an aggro deck on the play. So we are in a very bad spot, and we just became in a very great spot. We have only 1 white mana. Let's start with this one. We probably go with the Reef. We can use white from the Get Lost. You don't want any extra pain from, you know, this kind of situation. They have, of course, the perfect curve, the perfect opening on the play, so we are not super happy with it. The problem is that the next play is Godric. So if they have so far perfect opening, if they go with the perfect opening up to turn 3, lockdown doesn't work anymore. So I think we need to go the hard way, and we just play the Reef. That means we cannot lock down on the next turn, but like if that would be a dice roll. If they have Godric, so they didn't have Godric, and we would win the game instantly. Alright. Alright. I mean, hard to know what exactly he has, but it is what it is. Alright, and we are prepared with all our spare mana. 4 damage. 4 damage. That went quickly. I think he might have a lightning strike in the end. I'm not loving this play, but we need to slow him down. We need to slow him down. That's a hard one. I need the white mana and I didn't draw it. So I could Get Lost to prepare for the next turn. That will give us the counter spell, so I think we still go with it. He has no instants. That's weird. Alright, so he has no instants. That means, so this is 2 damage in the board right now. The problem is that I cannot take a full turn out of, you know, anything. But if he didn't play a 1-drop, or sorry, a 3-drop, that means he doesn't have it, right? I'm going for it. It's so hard to find a spot, man. I'll take this one. We need to risk that now he didn't draw a 3-drop. Not a 3-drop. We'll get a lot of damage, so it will hurt a lot. Alright, but that was our turn. Kumano. Kumano is actually perfect. They didn't order correctly, or they were like super trying to get some sneaky plays. Alright. I mean, that works for them. Alright. Even though they will get the Swift Spear, which is not perfect, lockdown is huge here. It also means that with the Swift Spear will be weaker, right? So we are not in a perfect spot. All of this happened because of the second white mana. If we had Archive on the turn 1, game would be an auto win. Right now we are kinda fighting against it. Let's see what he exiles. I didn't see this card in ages. Land? An instant. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. So 2 ways to... I think we should win the game if we do it right. So, this will be a bit hard. This will be a bit hard. We can play Zurga and Ujatai and just keep blocking. This one has first strike, so if he draws a burn spell, he can kill it, and we are basically one turn behind. We could play the Emperor and -1 and try to block this. If we do, every instant will absolutely make our day miserable. I think we might exile Zurga. Alright, I think I know. Of course we will pass the turn, like come on. That's kinda the thing. Alright, so he drew an instant. He drew an instant.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off.
That's very important information. When we -2, he will probably react and pump the Swift Spear, then we need to march and Zurgo it. That's a weird situation, but I cannot afford more damage. Let's see, this is the moment to play an instant. So then if we respond, we get the damage. Well, I mean, we don't need to. Oh, he just dealt 2 damage to him. Okay, that was the first one. Alright, now we don't get pain from the instants, and this one is definitely worth its mana cost in gold. Alright, now we play the Emperor. Alright guys, we went through it, man. Even with the color screw, we managed to get the win, I think. He cannot bear me from 9, and we have counterspell and Memory Deluge, so we are in a really good spot. I don't think we even need the Emperor right now. If he casts Burn Spell, we don't care. He doesn't have anything that threatens us. And I'm a little bit stressed. I really wanted to win this one. We kinda won the land because we have Memory Deluge. The game is ours, we just need to make it, make smart plays. And the Emperor. As long as we keep playing Emperors, they cannot hurt us. And I mean, this 2 damage that he dealt kinda matters. This is super high ranked game, so he will probably play it until the end. That's how you get those extra wins. Every 10 games like this, you might still win it. Well, that was a card I didn't expect. He's playing a very weird version, but I like it. He's trying to experiment a little bit. I mean, we could counter it and make it easier for us. Or we can use the Emperor for it. This one has flank and cannot block. 4 and 3. If we draw a land, we can play both of them on the next turn. I'm tanking because this should be our win, but we can still mess it up if we play wrong. I think this is such a problematic card that it's worth an exile. Just because it clears every option he has and he's back to top decking. When he has this, he can make some sneaky plays depending on what he draws. Yeah, see? That was correct call. Even though there's no pressure on board, he knows that he lost. Man, we decayed so hard, man. Alright guys, we are on the draw. I don't love it. It seems that we are cursed with being on the draw today. Our hand is risky. We don't have red mana. Let's see what we are against. Alright, Death Touch. Sure. I mean, I don't think there's a choice. It's not worth to just sacrifice No More Lies for potentially marching something. So, yeah, I think we need to counter. Like, he will play something scary soon. Right, if a creature... probably that's his play, right? Explore instead to scry 1 when that creature explores. Let me read the card. Alright, instead you scry. So they don't get the explore, and when this enters, it explores. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, transform. Look at the... Man, there's a lot of reading here. Look at the top 4 cards, you may reveal a creature card. And it goes in the end. Alright, I think we should be fine here. And we have the red mana. That enables everything. I think that we should win this. But we are on the draw, so we might still get overwhelmed. On the play, I think we would be absolutely winning right now. Okay, this is the last card. Two lands a turn. 7 or more lands. So he really wants those lands, huh? And what is the payout? You may look at the top card of your library. That might be the target for No More Lies. Alright, let's take the damage for the turn. We can absolutely kill everything he has, but we need time because we cannot play our stuff, you know. And this is definitely one of his big plays. So definitely worth the counter spell. The coast is absolutely amazing here. Man, it feels so good. And with drawing of this one, we should be over his potential to deal damage. We need to be careful of this one. It's 1 mana on me, so kinda okay. So whenever he plays something with Explore, then I will make a decision. Right now I don't need to make it. There's no poison, there's like no damage pressure. Very good draw, I'll be honest. This is a very good draw. This is actually a perfect draw for him. And the map token is Explores, right? Oh, right, sorry, I messed up. He still gets the Explorer, but he scries first. So I think we have to get rid of this. Okay, I think I have the plan. Moment. I think we can order it better, right? So, he will activate the token and then we do the thing. It's not a big difference, he would still do it. But, you know, we need to make sure that we order it perfectly. And we'll have to sample this. Alright, that's a land. But now he has no payout for having 7. We go into my turn. It's not a Jay's turn. So 8 damage. 8 damage. It's mono green, so they cannot really deal, you know, quick damage. So if we sweep this, we should be fine. They will use the map token, unfortunately, but what can you do about it? We need to draw a land still. We should be able to in 5 cards, but it might go wrong, and then we will be in very bad spot. I could also Helix into March, but Sentinel is the worst part of this board, and we still need to kill it. So he will get some additional pressure. This is not great, because we are on the draw, we are already out-tempoed severely, even though he has no fuel. So every card he can continue, like his downside is that he doesn't have longevity. He has insane early game, everything is great for him, but it stops very quickly. So every card he gets is super harsh, because it gives him extra turns to pressure, and we rely down, you know, not seeing a pressure. We drew the card. Oh my god, we drew the card. I will take Helix. This is a great removal for their deck. Everyone knows what will happen now. Alright. And it's a Sunfall, not a Sweeper. He might have the Blast Zone only. I'm not sure if that's an instant. It shouldn't be, generally. Alright. I mean, we're at 5. There are some haste creatures with green, but they aren't very popular. Alright, this is good for him. This is definitely good for him. I don't really want to give him map tokens. So, how do we go about it? I think we will have to march it. I think we go into, you know, manual removal stage right now. Exile then return it. So exiling is part of the cost. That's actually kinda scary. 5, 6. But it's 8. 5, 6, 7. Alright. Just making sure I don't mess it up. We should be winning this one. Let's go to combat phase. And this should be the moment, right? And it's 5. We need to get rid of their big stuff. And we need to keep doing it until they whiff for a single turn. Like, so far their draw is absolutely insanely good. Like, they didn't whiff for a single turn from the start to finish, and they were like at 3 cards on turn 3, I think, or 2. So they keep drawing extra stuff that really keeps them in the game. I would love them to stop. Alright, I think this is the turn. I think this is it. I don't play land for the turn, so I need to be a little bit careful here. And they will go to 4 probably, because they know the Emperor will happen at some point. Correct. However, this one won't go through the Helix. And their start... Oh, they... Okay, so they expected the Emperor, I guess? Oh no, a token. Right, we have the token. Okay, so it has to be greater, not equal, right? Alright, I need to make sure I don't mess it up. If he gets too close, that would be insanely good. Alright, we know everything. We know everything. 1. I think he might scoop after this. And our mana is kinda perfect for this situation. Alright. And soon we will have Memory Deluge, so if we kinda whiff on the value, that means we drew a land, and that means we get the Memory Deluge. If we don't get land, that means we get something else that we can play. So one way or the other, we are getting our value. And that's good. This is also an interesting one. And I don't see any haste stuff on his side. I think we attack with this. Like, there are green creatures with haste. I think it's a 4/4 with Death Touch, if I remember. But it doesn't really feel like a fit for his deck. And let's play Jace. I don't see really any graveyard synergy so far. He might have some, but I will take the risk. I don't think it should be a big deal. And of course he will use the Blast Zone, but we still get the extra card. And we are using our mana very nicely, so on the next turn we probably will play a Memory Deluge at the end step. Yeah, Jace already did the job, and also having less lands means that our Normalize is more likely to hit. For example, right now if he hits Vorinclex, he has only 2 spare mana, and he can only draw 1 card, so if that's Vorinclex, yeah, that's a game. I don't think he can recover after this. He had a really good run, man, but it was too slow. And right now, you can see that, well, he's not in Mythic. It's funny, because now I'm the Mythic high rank guy that Diamond plays. He's probably high Mythic player that didn't grind enough so far. Alright, this is the moment for Memory Deluge, because we can Lightning Helix on the next turn. I don't need Cavern. I honestly like the land. But I like Helix even more, because it kinda guarantees that I will win the game. And we still drew it. Man, this is the fun stage of the game. I'll give him the chance to, waste something. If not, we just manually kill it. He might draw some protection spells, so no reason to not do it now. Especially that we have all the answers. So yeah, he's nearing his time basically here. Alright. He doesn't have creatures, so no explore. And right now we are going into aggression mode, because I kinda want to close the game while we have this nice advantage. And Emperor really excels at closing games quickly. So it's 5 and 8, right? I will get lost my Emperor next turn and use map tokens to pump the creature. So if he doesn't scoop, we kill him on the next turn. And here's your honk for the day. And like, so far Jeskai is really performing. That's an extremely good card. But it will be solved too late. So 5, 7, 8 and 9. Sure. And now we kill him before he can use it. Well, that was the easy mode from the top. But you know what? We would still kill him, because you can get lost. A moment. I don't need Jace. You can get lost your own stuff. So what we would do normally is go like this. Do we
I've
want
got
to
new
keep
moves to
styling?
teach you.
I mean, if I mess, I can still win the game. So let's show you how it's done. Now I kill my Get Lost,
Wandering.
and if that's not a land, I will get the counter, and that's a lethal. If I get a land, I play a land, and I use it to try again. So let's see if without Zurgo we would win. And here's our step. And now let's play Zurgo and show that it wasn't needed. Man, he was really, really aggressive, and he was on the play, and he didn't, you know, get this thing going. So, man, like, we performed nicely here. Alright, guys, I kinda like this hand. Not gonna lie, we have a little bit of everything. We don't have too much. Let's go with what? Hello, man. Maybe I found. I would love it to be true. Alright, so I think we go Helix. There's a solid reason for this land first. If we draw an untapped land for the next turn, even if the colors don't super match, we still get the missing part of the Helix. And really, bro, Mr. Space War, why are you red right now? We need to talk about it. The tap land on turn 2 hurts. We cannot play Helix right now, so we cannot get, you know, the cool stuff. But we'll get there. I think, okay, our opponent just lost the game. That's funny, but when you see 2 burn spells from the top, so the game is kinda over. We just need to make sure that we close it, but the game is kinda over. Unless we never draw a land. That can be their out. Here's Godric, and oh boy. I like Godric's. Go for it. No blockers. It's going great, right? Well, nearly. Back to 90. And those helixes. And now we have a choice. Now we have a choice. We can either stay with Helix Dissipate, or we can go with Jace, which will probably die. I think we just try to wait out the storm. If he plays spam of small creatures, that's a lockdown. If he plays one big creature, or a Chandra, we definitely counter it. Well, that was really scary. That was his out. That was really good card. Alright, that's fine. And here we go. The winning card of the game. And that means you generally, as an aggro player, man, I played so much aggro, I can just tell you everything they want. They hate us being untapped, because whatever they do, it might be very, very bad. They don't know if we have counterspell, removal, helix. Oh, you really want to go with it, huh? You really want to go with it. Is it worth it? So how much damage it is? Because on the next turn we are kinda doing the lockdown. I think we just let it through. So it's 5-6 damage to my face, 12. Then we play the lockdown and land and keep up the helix. This is one of the situations when we should win, so let's not mess it up. Alright, our opponent has no cards, so I think it's a mountain. We lack the red mana a little bit, we have the rest. Yeah, we have double blue. I mean, oh, I have 5 lands. I just realized, man. It's fine. Alright, I just only drew lands. Alright, we still drew the better one, so let's play. When you are in this situation, you always want to play double mana one, because why not? Here's the lockdown. Man, we are actually crushing aggro. Man, we are just farming them for free content right now. And our opponent is Jace. How could you? How could you, Jace? Here's Kumano. And they scoop. Alright, I mean we are... Man, I didn't see a single control deck right now today. And I think we might be the only control deck in current standard top 30 Mythic. Alright guys, I really hope you had as much fun watching those games as I had playing them, but man, I was stressed. I really wanted to rank up with this one, and after the DK, man, it's so harsh in Mythic, right? If you don't play ladder for like even a night, you already D-rank, possibly even 100 places, so the pressure is on, man, and I needed to win a lot of games, and I mean, we did. And for the Jeskai build that you have seen, This might be the build that I'm most comfortable with. I think it has a lot of tools against all the other decks. You have against all the aggro decks, Lockdown, Boros, and Mono Red. As you have seen in the Boros stats, they are the most popular decks right now. And this just shuts them down, including Kumano, which is huge because that's the card that gets you this extra damage that kills you. With No More Lies and Lightning Helix, you also have extremely, man, like those cards are insane. Basically a mana leak with improvement, and the Helix that is basically a Helix. Like, I mean, that's the card. And you just have insane 2 mana plays and 3 mana plays that kinda are game deciding as well. One synergy you didn't see because we didn't really align there was Cavern of Souls into Zurgo. That was a risky choice here. I decided that it's worth 1 Cavern of Souls. The problem with this card, if you have, this is untapped land for turn 2, right? It fits perfectly, unless you want to cast any of those, because they all need fully colored mana, so you need to be really strict on the mana base. That's why I think playing 2 of them is just too risky, man. You will keep drawing them and it will cost you more games than it wins. So we just go with 1 Cavern. That means Zurga and Ujatai against a control matchup is unkillable. They, unless they play Black and Edict, which is very rare, they cannot kill it simply. Sweepers won't hit it, removal won't hit it. You just get it back every turn and you kill them in 5 turns, and that's it. That's the play. So really cool synergy here. I know you guys also mentioned in the comments sometimes. Other than this, we are really skipping on the Sunfalls in the favor of Lockdown because it kind of does the same thing, and I've seen this shift from the control decks, less Sunfalls, more Lockdowns, and it seems to be working because that's another control deck like this I've been playing, and I never really felt that, oh no, I don't have a Sunfall. It got the job done. Even against Celestial Enchantments you can get those Mishikos, this kind of stuff. So if you play it smart, you should get there, especially with Helix. On curve, this kills 3 drops. Like vanilla 3 drop is a 3/3, so that just answers it perfectly. Which means that it's it's kind of fun, right? Because you have 2 mana, you answer their 3 drop, even if they are on the play. That means the only thing that is in the board is their 1 and 2 mana plays that they cast in previous turns. That means your Lockdown clears the board fully. So those 2 cards really work together very, very nicely. I still went with the Jace plan. I think you could try to go like this. But I just don't feel super comfortable not having this emergency mill plan, and you have seen that against a control deck it is better. It's very hard to kill a control deck right now with pure damage. Even the Steamer control has so much life gain from the lands. Azorius has Reveries, Unions, this kind of stuff. So they heal a lot, especially if the Emperor. Right, it's very hard to pressure control deck with the Emperor. I always play it because it forces a reaction. This is the card that really enhances other plays, and it's not really a win con unless your opponent heavily whiffs or misplays in some ways, or your draw is just perfect to hit the spot where it hurts them. So yeah, I really like having still a Jace as a backup plan. One thing with this deck, look at the mana base. No Mirex, no Field of Ruins. We are kinda giving up this plan for the sake of having better mana base, but because we really need it super early. And don't forget, Dissipate, double blue. Lockdown, double white. You really have super strict mana costs and you don't have Triumph in the Jeskai. So you need to be really aware of how you invest your lands, especially if you play counter spells, which means that Mirex is basically a colorless land. On your turn, it can be used for a lockdown, so something. It's not the worst. Sometimes you can go around it or just cast Helix main phase, not the end of the world. But if you play counter spells, Mirex really can hurt. So this is an interesting decision with this deck. We just skip Mirex plan because we assume that we can outvalue Mirex decks. They use 4 mana to play a 1/1. We have better plays and we have enough card draw to keep it going with Zurgo, Memory Deluge, and Jace. So yeah, I really enjoyed this version of the deck. It seems that Jeskai is right now one of the most tight builds. There's very hard to deviate because there are so many cards that you have to play. You kinda have to play Emperors. You have to play Memory Deluge. 4 Normalize, 4 Helix is a given. 4 Lockdowns is a given. You really don't have too much space, and you probably want matches and get lost to have early game removal. And you probably want Jace to mill your opponent so you have a win con. And you probably want Farewell or a Sun. There's it's probably the most strict archetype right now that I have played, and it's very hard to deviate from it if you want to be competitive. So yeah, and our score was 4-1. Man, 4-1. That's not 100% win rate. 4-0. So we performed very nicely, especially at this high mythic. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the outro as well. We are in the very, very serious competitive bracket, so I try to make commentary a bit, more specific. So if you want to get those competitive wins, you know how to do it. And yeah, I mean, we proved it. We can be at the top of the mythic both with aggro and control. So I hope you will enjoy. Or you did enjoy video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. You're a pillar of this channel, and thanks to you, all of those videos could happen. So yeah, it's all thanks to you. So I really appreciate it, man. All right, thanks, and see you tomorrow.
With